What were your thoughts on the whole Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark? Because it was kind of drama, right?
Oh yeah, it was a lot of drama. I mean, I don't know. I was a big fan of Caitlin Clark just because I feel like she backs up everything she does. Like I think she's crazy good. I was just a little confused by all of the. I mean, I don't really have a problem with it. Like as long as you're kind of like backing yourself up. I mean, I don't have a problem with talking crap and stuff like that. So
How about you on the court? You talk smack?
nah, no, I don't. I mean, people might talk crap to me, but I've never been that way. That's just not who I am.
One, one. It's 5 a.m. in the morning, and the gym is where I'm going. Gotta get my sport fit. C1 is where I'm going, baby. One. I said one.
Hey, thanks for checking out the show. It's called No Playbook, and it's brought to you by D1 Training. My name's Casey, and on the show, we interview the coaches, players, and experts that help to make sports and fitness such an important part of life in the Southeast. If it's your first time listening to the podcast, I've had some great episodes very recently, like VFL and current Cleveland Browns quarterback Joshua Dobbs came on the show. PGA golfer Scott Stallings, actually from Oak Ridge, by the way. He came on the show a couple of weeks ago. And in a few weeks, I don't want to tell you who it is. I'm just going to tell you it's one of the best lady vol athletes to ever play sports at Tennessee. I'll just leave it at that. Trust me, you're going to want to subscribe to the show and check out that one in a few weeks. But something I've been kind of starting doing a lot more lately is having these young athlete highlights. It's a way to kind of showcase some high school talent that we've got in the region. And I've got two outstanding athletes on the podcast today. Ty Glasper is a two-time all-state basketball player and is just a sophomore. And then Nya Burns is a phenomenal basketball player who is just a freshman currently, but she got her first D1 offer in the 8th grade. She joins the show to talk about her whole workout schedule and what her recruiting processes look like so far. Both of these athletes, they've been working out at the D1 Sevierville. Now, they don't actually have a full facility yet. Melvin Jones, he's the GM out there. He's really been hustling, offering great training opportunities at a few different spots. So if you want to learn about it, follow on social at D1 Sevierville. Tons of great opportunities for any athletes in that part of the state. If you've never been to D1, they got personal training, team training, youth developmental programs, adult boot camp classes, and so much more. Let's get into the first interview for this one. Here's Nya Burns on No Playbook. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Is this your first podcast ever?
Yeah.
That's something I'm learning as I get to do these like young athlete highlights that I'm getting to be a lot of the first podcasts for some of you guys. I got a feeling you're going to do a lot more though in the future.
Yeah, probably.
So
Hopefully.
how are things, Nya?
Good.
Yeah. So I appreciate you coming on the show. I guess it's a typical day of school for you. What is
Yeah.
like after school look like for you?
Well, after school, I normally get my AirPods in and go shoot, and sometimes my mom will get there to school and come rebound for me and stuff. But yeah, that's that and homework for the most part.
Like at the school or in the driveway? What is that?
At school, yeah, I don't have a driveway to shoot right now because of our house situation. But yeah, at the school.
You guys moving?
No, but this isn't like our probably going to be our house forever. And so when we did like move here, we didn't really have like a place to put a goal. So I only have the
Got
school
it.
access. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So Nya Burns, class of 26, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Already getting some looks for some from some colleges for basketball. Is that your main and only sport?
Yeah. I played soccer this past year, but I don't know if I'll play again. But I got hurt. So
Oh, okay. Did you?
yeah.
Is basketball, I guess, been your passion for a while?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, first of all, I tell you what, I want to get into who you are on the court and your training, all that stuff. But just to start things out, tell me a little bit about Nya when you're not playing basketball. Like who are you when you're just kind of hanging out and chilling?
Um, well, I will say I definitely like to just like take the time I have to chill and like, uh recover for sure, but like watch Netflix and do things like that.
Are you like a video game? Yeah.
No, no. I like to go out with friends, but I'm kind of just the type to just stay at my house and chill and take that time I have.
See, I love the little scowl that you made when I asked about video games because you did get a look on your face. Because my kids, so you're definitely the youngest person I've had on the show. You're in the ninth, finishing up the ninth grade. My oldest son is finishing up the seventh grade, and I would give anything for him to make a scowl if somebody asked, "Do you play video games?" And he'd be like, "No, of course not. Video games? What are you crazy?" Yeah, I would love for that to be his response, but that's not it. Uh, anyway, I commend you for that and your folks for for supporting that. But how about this? A little more personal question. When you are it's a big game, big basketball game coming up. What is your like hype playlist? Do you have one?
Oh, I mean, I go to Spotify, and I normally just play like some Drake. Drake is like my go-to, but I mean, I just any rap to be honest. That's probably my main.
Yeah, I can tell you I've had a lot of Tennessee basketball players on as well, and they, Drake and J. Cole, it seems like with just about all of them,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what they're giving me.
yeah,
So
definitely.
let's get into it. Talk about so you're this season a freshman at Gatlinburg-Pittman. Talk about the I guess contact you've received and any kind of recruiting discussions that have been had for you with basketball so far.
Yeah, so I've been talking to a lot of like mid-major D1 schools probably since I guess eighth grade because I got my first D1 offer when I was in eighth grade.
Who was
So
that to?
yeah, where would you say?
Who was that to? That first D1 offer.
ETSU.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was my first one. Then I got Tennessee Tech like this month. Um, and so those two, and then just talking to a lot of other D1 schools.
What is that your dream specifically is playing D1?
Oh yeah. I mean, my dream is to play like Power Five, but I obviously want to play where I'm gonna like get to be on the court, like all 4 years and stuff. So
Yeah. So I'm curious, when you're an athlete like you getting D1 offers in the eighth grade, uh, is basketball like your main focus, or are you like picking out, I also want to be a whatever marketing major and I'm going to look find the best school for that?
well, I mean,
No wrong
I'm
answers.
not I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really like I mean, I've talked about like kind of what I want to do, but it's kind of just strictly like basketball. It's kind of where my mind's at. And like people ask me that and I'm just like, I'm not really sure yet. But I think that I kind of want to do something like involving sports, but I'm still not 100% sure. So
Oh, yeah, I work at D1. I fully support that. I,
yeah.
I I get that completely.
Yeah.
So how high do your basketball goals reach?
Hmm. Pretty high. I mean, I expect a lot out of myself, and I mean, I kind of have to. I feel like I have to be like kind of realistic, but also like if I keep working hard and all that, I feel like I can like reach my goals that I have.
So what do you like? What do you plan to do to reach those? So let's say you're like, I want to have, Candace Parker's career. Um,
Mhm.
how do you achieve that? Um, besides, growing a couple of inches.
um, definitely just training like all the time. That's my biggest thing. I mean, I train all the time. Just doing that, and like my mom tells me, sleep is a big thing. Um, although I don't really agree with that sometimes, but it's whatever. But I definitely going to sleep early and getting good rest and recovery and like eating the right foods and just having like a strict training process.
Oh, it's crazy how a lack of sleep really can hurt your gains.
Yeah,
You might think, this is me being super dedicated, but it's funny how important it really is.
yeah, I know. And that's what I've realized, especially like this year, because I she makes me go to bed at a early time, but I mean, when I wake up, it is worth it. So
Yeah, yeah. So, you did a lot with Melvin at the D1 Sevierville. which is
Hmm.
the facility itself isn't open. So I think that's pretty cool that you're already kind of getting involved and doing the training. But none of that training, correct me if I'm wrong, had anything to do with the basketball, right?
Nope.
So tell listeners who may find that a little surprising. How can you get that kind of training without even touching a basketball that's really going to help your game on the court?
Yeah, well, speed and agility is definitely one of the biggest things, like, to help your athleticism and stuff. And I feel like a lot of coaches, college coaches, like look for that in the people that they're recruiting. So getting to like work on like speed and agility, footwork, like that's so important, especially to me. So yeah.
Where does that drive come from with you, Naya?
Um, I would say I mean, I get it. Okay, so I'm very competitive and I've always been that way, but I feel like I got that from my parents just because they're super competitive. But yeah, I don't really know. It's kind of just me. Like I don't know. I set those standards for myself. So
Yeah. Do you have any athletes that you like really look up to and have really kind of idolized throughout your young career?
I'd say this year I was really watching Caitlin Clark from Iowa. Um, I really love watching her and she's a great player. And probably I don't watch a ton of NBA or WNBA, but I like watching girls that are kind of like the big hype in like high school and especially getting to go to like all those really big tournaments and getting to like watch them play and stuff. That's probably one of the biggest things and just, keeping up with them, especially the ones who are probably not like 6 foot tall because I can kind of just look and see what they do and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and actually I made a note. I wanted to ask what were your thoughts on the whole Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark? Because it was kind of drama, right?
oh yeah, it was a lot of drama. I mean, I don't know. I was a big fan of Caitlin Clark just because I feel like she he backs up everything she does. Like I think she's crazy good. And I don't know. I mean, I was just a little confused by all of the crap talk and whatever, but I mean, I don't really have a problem with it. Like as long as you're kind of like backing yourself up, I mean, I don't have a problem with talking crap and stuff like that. So,
How about you on the court? You talk smack?
nah. No, I don't. I mean, people might talk crap to me, but I've never been that way. That's just not who I am.
Um, so let me see. Hmm. Tell me a little bit about specifically working with Melvin, if you would. Because I see the work that he does there at the hangar, and he does some other stuff at different places in Sevierville. I just wanted to hear what is
Mhm.
your experience that you've worked with Melvin at the D1 Sevierville this past spring.
It's been really good. I mean, they're definitely trying to, work on getting more people in like a facility because that's definitely really big to like try to bring kids in. But it's been good, and speed and agility has definitely helped me. Um, and yeah, it's been really good.
Did you grow up in the Gatlinburg area?
No, I'm actually from Kentucky, Western Kentucky.
Okay, but you're not a
Yeah.
Wildcats fan, right?
No, no, I have a lot of people ask me that, and I'm not. I never really was. I was never a Louisville fan. I don't know. I just really wasn't. My grandparents were, but they were Kentucky fans, but I just never was.
Yeah. Is there a team that you do follow?
Mm, I will say when I moved to Tennessee, I definitely started watching Tennessee a lot. But I mean, for girls basketball, I mean, like I like watching UConn and South Carolina. It's more of like girls individually than it is a team. That's kind of just how I am. So
That's funny. That's the same even with some of the players currently on Tennessee or other big time athletes I've talked to. It seems to always be the same thing that they watch particular players or coaches that they support, but
yeah,
not really finding a team to rally behind quite yet.
yeah, not really. I mean, I guess for like football, I mean, I'm a Vols fan, but I mean, with basketball, just definitely like girls, just like specific girls that I like watching. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
Now, when you were younger, you said you played soccer. Were there any other sports? Were you like a softball player, volleyball, anything like that?
I did gymnastics and I did cheer. I did competitive cheer, but gymnastics was probably the one of the biggest things. I did that uh, ever since I was like really small. But I did that until I was like in like fifth grade or something, because then I started having back problems, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna focus on basketball. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's something I'm just realizing it's a cool perspective to have you on because a thing that I've brought up with many folks on different podcasts that I've had is I often identify with 14-year-old Casey because I remember that being an age when I kind of was able to pick out like, okay, I wanted to be a professional soccer player. And that's when I kind of started to realize like, I don't think that's going to happen. It's time for me to start
Yeah.
picking out what do I really want to do.
Hmm.
I love sports. There was a broadcaster for the Chicago Cubs. I idolized. I wanted to do this. So how do I make that happen? So that age when you're kind of picking out, no, I really need to stop. I'm not a little kid anymore. It's time for me to really start, but I'm not an adult. I'm not going to college yet. I need to pick out what sort of form what my goals and dreams are going to be.
Yeah.
And I just remember that really fondly as a cool time in my life of being to kind of identify those goals and set my plan for how I want to reach them. And you're kind of just after that phase. So I think that's neat that you're really in it, but you're getting that support. You're getting the attention from some D1 schools.
Yeah.
So is there any kind of uh like hustling on your side, or do you from the recruiting end, or are you just kind of waiting for those offers and attention to come to you? Like, do you do anything to reach
Mm,
out to, let's say,
I
Louisville for
mean,
attention?
I've thought about it, but it's more of like the coaches like going to my coaches and then like, wanting to talk to me and like get to know me and stuff like that. But I'm not I really just like when I'm like playing for the coaches to like be like, oh, like I like her game. And then, like go to my coaches and say that. I'm just not that's kind of just how I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of I guess notes or because you still got 3 years of high school ball, is there any kind of, you know, um tips you've been given by anybody like your game looks great, but you need to work on your, I don't know, your crossover, your 3-point shooting or something like that?
Um,
Or
I would
smack talk.
say yeah, definitely not. I would say just because I played like just a guard this year, because our who was supposed to be our starting point guard, she got hurt. So I ended up starting to play point, but then I kind of went back to my guard to a guard just because that's my position and that's what I do best at. But um, I mean, I've just gotten told to work on being point guard just because I am smaller and a lot of colleges will, look for that point guard and that leadership. Um, so I've actually got to be a point guard for my AU team this year, which is I think has like really helped me, and I think that'll definitely help me like the next 3 years and like the recruitment process and stuff. So
Sounds great. Now, one question I do ask everybody on the show is, what is your favorite workout exercise? Whether it be in the gym or, even on the court.
um I would say when like lifting and stuff, I like doing like abs. That's probably one of my biggest things because I really want my abs to look good. But I'd probably say that, and I like to like just run long distance, clear my mind, stuff like that.
Are you a podcast listener or music when you go for a long run?
Music. I never listen to podcasts.
Oh, so this not only is going to be your first podcast that you are on, but maybe you ever listen to.
Yeah, definitely the first. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, well, man, see, that's another thing. I'm talking with my kids. They love podcasts. They listen to like comedy shows and stuff, and it's
Uh-huh.
even though I love podcasts too, it's kind of hard to. I'm like, are you gonna listen to Foo Fighters or I don't know, trying to pick out some music, something's gonna get you hyped up, and they're like, no, Dad, I listen to
Yeah.
you know the Parks and Recreation podcast. Uh,
Yeah.
so
It's
that's
definitely always been music for me.
gotcha. Well, I mean that gets your blood pumping and stuff, and that sounds
Yeah.
good to get you moving. Well, cool. Naya, I really appreciate you coming on. I know that it's not something you've done yet, but I anticipate I bet it's going to be something that you experience a lot in the future. I'm glad to have you on as our first.
Thank you.